Hi everyone, and thank you for tuning in today. We are going to be looking at Venus retrograde, which in your chart looks as if it's going backwards, but it's not really. It's just the way it looks. But what it means is when situations come back into your life and you start to have some sort of reaction to them, normally emotional, and it's a little deeper look into why this has come back into your life, this situation or this person, and how to deal with it. So a bit of advice on how to move forward with something. You may have felt this yesterday. You may have something that has come back and you're perusing over something, and it's going to be there until June the 25th. So you have got from yesterday, although that's gone, up until June the 25th to try and work out something that is come back into your life for a reason and why is it there. So let's get started. You've got number 1 with the sea lion, number 2 with the little rabbit that's made out of a bomb from Vietnam. No, it's not, from Laos. And that's number 2, and this is number 3. So whichever one you fancy. Okay. Pile number 1. Right, so what situation is come back into your life that needs a bit of attention? So this is either the situation or the person. You've got to decide what actually rings true for you, because if there's a few people watching, then it will be different for everybody else, but there are certain bits that you need to pick up that will make sense to you. So you've got the High Priestess, which is the card of Pisces, which is normally people who possess quite a lot of intuition. They like to look inwardly. There's always something quite mystical about them. They are probably very laid back, probably very creative. But something in this person's life, or it could be your life, has arisen to do with property, either buying or selling property, or something to do with family and ownership and property. And this situation is something that they can't quite get a handle on. It's something they can't quite put into a situation or into a compartment. It's all a bit slippery, is what I'm trying to say. It could be buying or selling a property. It could be sharing deeds, or people in a property together, and it's got to be organised who owns what, something to do with the deeds, or something that's going on in this person's or your life to do with property. See, these cards are very square, very organised, and to me seem quite masculine compared to this card at the back, the High Priestess, which is quite feminine. So it's almost as if these two don't sit well with each other. This person here is very much leave me alone, I'm happy, I know I'm quiet, I'm creative, I'm in my own space. And these two cards are almost calling you out in a material way to deal with something in everyday life. And that's probably where the problem arises with this one. It's like a feeling of wanting to be left alone, or a feeling if you are left alone but there's something come in that's just quite upsetting that you've got to deal with on the more physical plane. Let's have a little look. Yeah, these almost say the same thing. So this is like the energy. This is the major card. I don't know if you can see these. Let me squeeze these up a bit. So this is like the major card, the most important card. And it's a situation where they can't do anything. It's almost like the High Priestess their energy is in their head. They are almost thinking and feeling, but there's no action, and that's whether you or this other person feels happy at the moment. Nothing is moving forward, and you or the other person is really happy with this. There's just a feeling of mulling over something, like in a sentimental way, something very dear to you. But with these cards, this almost non-action, this emotion, this sort of happy with yourself. There's this card of finances and money, offering money or a job or a physical situation. And I get the feeling from this that these two don't sit together well. It's like, leave me alone, I'm really happy, I'm really content, and then there's something come up with work or with buying or selling property or owning property, which has thrown things up in the air. Like this cards, change around. Right, okay, it seems to me that the situation that has come into play, probably starting yesterday and going on for to the middle of June, end of June the 25th, doesn't really scream of relationships to me. It screams of something inside yourself. It's as if you have had time to think, you have had time to look back on things, and you have decided that from looking inwardly, and for maybe the first chance for quite a while, especially with the way that things are going at the moment, you've decided that you want to change. You either want to change your house, you want to change something in the material world, you may have been offered a job, or you're thinking of a new job, and it's the first time in a long time that you are thinking outside of your usual structure that you have made for your life. And it could be you might have to move fast, it could be that you're called to do some action, and it's different from what you're used to, because you've got the Six of Cups here, which is basically when you're feeling quite at home with something that you're quite familiar with, and you've got the Knight of Swords, which is an action card crossing that. These two cards, this card here is the situation where you're just quite happy, being relaxed, being creative, being inward looking. You're probably quite wise, very astute, you know what's going on, and you may have decided without having to be pushed from the outside world, which often happens with people who are very intuitive, can't say the word, sorry. You've decided that you need to change. Then this is where the indecision comes in. This is probably what you're going to be playing with over the next month and a half. How you're going to change, because you don't really know, you can't quite put a pinpoint on what you want to do, possibly. Not definite about that, I'm not definite about any of it, but it's almost if a job's been offered, or a house move, or something financial has been offered to you, and you're umming and ahhing, you don't know what to choose. What do you need to let go to make this easier for yourself? Right, okay. Oh my gosh, okay. What's going to happen in your life? I'm going to say, what do you need to let go? You need to make huge changes in your life, because it's time to make these changes. If you have deep inside you this feeling that you have come to a bit of a stalemate in your life, where you feel like you need to move forward, it could be to do with a person, but to be honest, I'm not getting that. This is more just to do with you. This is to do with you putting things in boxes, thinking, this is this part of my life running great, this is this part of my life, okay, this is this part of my life, and now these boxes don't fit anymore. You know that you need to change, so something shifted inside of you, and this is going to be a huge change, and you know that you've got to blow some things out of the water to make these changes. What you need to do is you need to do this on your own. I always start these thinking it's going to be a relationship reading, but this one definitely isn't a relationship reading. This is something where you need to take responsibility for yourself. Think carefully over the next 6 weeks what you want to do and where you want to go, and you are the one that's going to have to take action. You know, take responsibility for yourself, because it's that's the whole gist of this, is that it's up to you, and you're the one that's going to have to do it. Have time to think, but when you act, once you've made that decision, which may take you 6 weeks to get there, because these aren't like fast moving cars, once you've made the decision there, then go for it and don't look back. If there's something that's really, really niggling you that you want to do, you just need to go for it. But leave it until the end of June, about the 25th, 26th of June. Just think. And be aware that there will be big changes in your life. A decision that you have to make. Yeah, okay. You need to make these choices yourself. Make them make your decisions from what you have decided, because you know what's going on inside of you. You're not one of those people that some people just aren't reflective at all. I don't think that's you. I think you're quite aware of your inner workings and where you need to be going. and you can feel it inside yourself, and you know it's time for change, and you know that change is really going to be hard, but that is part of the test. Is you need to take responsibility for yourself, not ask other people, not just sort of put your feelers out to see whether it's the correct way to go. It's not really for anybody else's decision apart from you. The only thing that you can do is make that change. Know that people are going to be hurt with whatever you want to do, but you need to be independent, and you need to be kind as you're doing it. You're not doing this change to hurt people. You're doing it because it's just the time in your life that you need to make this change. And you've got to make sure that you're fair with people, and that you're kind, and that you're giving. But don't be afraid to do it, and don't be afraid to do it on your own, really. You're going to lose a few things in the process of doing it, and it's going to feel really hard, but it's almost as if you've got this time now, you've got this time to think about it. It could be to do with property, it could be to do with something financial. I'm not really getting relationship from this. To me, it's something far more material. I suppose Venus is finances. So something in your finances could possibly have been playing on your mind, and you know that something's got to change. New job, move house, something like that. Something to do with money and material values, where you have to make that change. Right, pile number 1. I hope that helps. There you go. I hope that helps. If it did mean anything to you, if you could let me know, would be helpful. Just stick a like there, or subscribe, or unsubscribe, so that I know that it makes some sense to you, and then I'm not totally bonkers. Okay, and thank you for watching. Okay, pile number 2. And I'll have those back. Hi, pile number 2. Hi, pile number 2. There you go. Okay, pile number 2. Let's have a look at your situation. So basically, we're looking at Venus retrograde, which started yesterday and is going to go on till the 25th of June. And what we need to look at is how you are feeling, because things will be pulled up in your life that you need to deal with, and they're probably to do with love or finances. The last spread was to do with finances. I always expect to see love. I don't know why, and it really wasn't. Okay, so this is either you or somebody around you. It will become clearer as we go on. So either you are a Gemini, or somebody around who's a Gemini, but they are this character or yourself are somebody who's quite sentimental, who uses their emotions often, is not so much a logical thinker, and somebody who's very creative, very caring, probably very keen on natural pastimes like gardening or natural pastimes, hunting for truffles, I don't know. Somebody who is very aware of natural beauty, and somebody who likes to love, who's very open-hearted, very giving, likes to have family around them, likes to have partners, daydreams a lot about what they want emotionally in their life, and makes it become a reality. Somebody who naturally is quite Venusian, is that a word? Somebody who probably likes art, probably loves easily, likes, I'm thinking Empress is like somebody who likes to eat, enjoys food, enjoys beauty. Probably their house is beautiful. They probably like interior design. They might be working in a creative industry, or have a creative job. Right, let's have a little look. Okay. Right, what you may be thinking about, what may have come up in your life and has started already and will be going on for 6 weeks, is if you feel as if You are bound to something. My first thoughts are that it's somebody or something that you have an emotional connection with from these cards here. You feel bound to it, and what has happened in your life is that you feel as if you're too tied to it, and it's making you feel very defensive. And these are thoughts that are rising in you now, that you feel like you need to cut back and cut off from this situation and pull back a little bit of your own power, because it's almost as if you've lost control and you don't really like the way that you're acting or the way that you feel. There could be a situation where you are attracted to somebody, and this attraction has gone quite far in your thoughts and your head, that you feel that this person may not actually yet quite deserve your attention. Excuse me, taking my jumper off. This person does not quite deserve this much attention as yet. And so what you've thought is, right, I've gone a little bit too far with this, thinking too much about it, given too much of myself emotionally, that I'm just going to cut off. Naturally, you're probably those people that like to nurture people. You're probably a person who is good at giving. And as I said before, you're somebody who probably likes to fall in love. And what you have done is you might have fallen deeply for somebody and then realised, this situation isn't quite solid enough for me. I need to pull back until I'm ready. Because you feel it's slightly imbalanced at the moment. Perhaps you're giving more than the other person. Okay. So the situation is you feeling as if you are slightly tied to something mentally that you don't want to be tied to, or it could be physically, but I'm tending to think it's mental when you're feeling quite self-protective at the moment. These are the thoughts that are coming back up. Now this could be an older man, or a man perhaps above 30 who's very practical. You might actually work with them, or there might be some sort of situation between the pair of you, like a school, or like where you're actually studying together, or whether you're working together in some way, and you are feeling that you might need to push back this person a bit. Now this is where this comes up. Either you are feeling slightly obsessed with this person, or you're feeling that you can't cope with your feelings with this person, or, which is also possible with these cards underneath, that you have somebody who's interested in you, who you work with, and it's almost as if you are needing to push them back. It's one or the other. Either way, this pack talks to me of boundaries, that you need to have really quite strong boundaries, because you're naturally an open giving person. And I'm not sure whether it's you've slipped too far into like what you want to happen and given too much to this person, maybe not physically, emotionally, or they're crossing your boundaries and trying to get into your world a bit. Yeah, I'm thinking you have got so many cards here of boundaries and almost needing to say that's enough, and that's what you're probably going to be mulling over for quite a few weeks. You are, to me, somebody who's really hopeful, somebody who's very optimistic. There could be some Sagittarius in there with a Gemini. If you are Gemini, there could be just a strong Venus, somebody who likes to have fun, somebody who gives a lot, somebody who's quite what altruistic, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, it'll come to me. Somebody who's quite hopeful and always thinks that this situation is going to be the best possible situation. A bit like a puppy. Somebody who thinks it's going to be the best situation possible, but in a sort of gentle, open way. That could be quite Pisces as well here. But what you need to do and what you're hoping for is this: you or this other person has got boundaries. This to me is screaming relationship. And you are what seems to me to be somebody who is very kind, very optimistic, probably the word I was looking for. But you're very scared of being taken advantage of, because that might have happened in the past with you. You like to care for people. You like to be in relationships. You like romance. You like to be loved, and you like to give love. And you may have been burnt in the past. And this situation that's being brought up from now until the next few weeks is reminding you of something that you can see a pattern. It's something that's probably happened before. You are now feeling like you're questioning whether you're giving too much and whether to pull back. Okay. This to me, once again, you've got 2 threes of cups here. Now you could be thinking about somebody who is probably very charismatic, probably very charming, very enthusiastic, lots of energy, and this person could be 30 upwards. But this person may have somebody else, possibly have somebody else, because you have got 2 3 of cups here. See, these last 3 cards are advice cards, and I've just said to you, make sure that you've got strong boundaries, either for them coming into your emotional space, or vice versa, that you going into their emotional space. And this advice pile at the bottom, although still talks to me that there possibly could be somebody else in the relationship, I don't get a bad feeling from it. I also almost feel as if you have this feeling of being quite happy with yourself, of feeling like, quite content. And as advice, I can't see anything negative to tell you. Not that I'm looking for it, it's just the fact that I could sense there might be somebody else in the relationship. I would say to you to just be yourself, be open, be giving, and realise what type of person you really are, that you are somebody who is probably, some people find it really hard to cultivate these qualities of being open or being giving or being kind, and that's something you naturally are. So in this relationship, just be happy with who you are and what you have got to give. Make sure you know where your boundaries are, because this person could almost mirror you in the fact they could be similar to you. But you need to have strong boundaries. Know the line where you feel uncomfortable in what you're giving, because you have such a lot to give. And the end result and the advice is basically be yourself, be happy, make the most of each day. And to me, you just seem somebody who's quite happy with yourself anyway, and just carry on doing that. There isn't anything specific, but it's the boundaries and the fact there might be somebody else involved. But I'm not going to give you any advice on that. So you just seem somebody who's really in tune with yourself, and somebody who's got a really nice personality that people are drawn towards. You're like a beautiful soul who's just kind and open. And this person, if it is another person, it's probably somebody a little bit older, can see that, and you're just optimistic, you're hopeful, you're somebody who likes to have fun. And you just need to carry on doing that. So that's not so bad. But you might get the feeling that you need to strengthen your boundaries over the next few weeks. Okay, pile number 3. If you like that, hit the like button and subscribe if you fancy some more. Thank you for watching. Hi there, pile number 3, you've got the White Wolf, and so we're looking at Venus retrograde today. So we are looking at things that will come up over the next, from yesterday to June the 25th, that may be situations or emotions that fester up, make you need to sort them out basically. It's something that will probably be a pattern from before, and you've got to recognise it and sort it out so you get the best situation for yourself. So let's have a little look. This is either a person or a situation. I'm not quite sure yet until I get all the cards out. Let's do there. Okay. Ugh, hold on, I've forgotten what that one is. I'm going to stop a minute so that I can tell you. I don't want to sit there and read it to you because it's very boring for you. Right, I've got it. You've got the Justice card, which is Libra, and you have got the unseen, which basically is somebody who is giving you advice or something that is telling you which way to go, how to weigh things up, what's happened in the past, what needs to be done in the future. And the unseen actually means, because I've just read it, that this situation, that or the guidance that you need may not sit well with you. It might be quite painful, or it might just be something you don't want to listen to or don't want to hear. We're going to go through the cards to see exactly what I'm mumbling about. So just the situation that has arisen for you. Right, something... This is like summer holidays to me. Something that's like the sun and the sea. Something has happened in your life that has made you feel good. It has made you feel as if it's the right thing to do. You feel as if you're on the right path. It's something you might have been looking at and waiting for. It's something that you might have been putting a lot of effort into, and you are just waiting for it to materialise, and it has, and it's exactly what you want. I'm tending to think it's something to do with study, with finances, or something you've basically been trudging towards, working towards, and it's come back and you are excited about it. It's like a wish come true. That's not the wish come true card, but that's what it feels like. It feels right. It feels like it's spontaneous, and it feels fun. Okay, what I think this possibly could be is a relationship. So this relationship has come into your life, and you have got to make a decision. It's almost as if you have got so many weighing up cards here. You've got the Two of Pentacles and you've got the Two of Spades. So this is like weighing up a situation which could be practical, like a financial situation. This is almost like a mental process of weighing something up, almost like start anxiety, or that you don't know what to do. The Lovers card here is almost a decision-making thing, and they're all like, and the Justice as well. You're weighing up things. So what's going to happen over the next 6 weeks is that you are going to have to weigh up some situation, and it's going to be difficult, and this might go on for a 6-week period. But it's something that it's not something unexpected. It's something that you have been waiting for. It's making you really happy. It could be a relationship. I'm going to give some more cards on that one. I just honestly think that the next 6 weeks you are going to be umming and ahhing a lot over something. And it's not negative, which doesn't go with this card here yet. Let me just see. Something you have to you need to be fair, and you need to be honest to yourself, truthful with yourself. Let's get a little look at what the situation possibly could be. Okay. I'm going to read these cards. Sometimes when I get stuck, I just have to read the cards to you, because you know your situation better than me. So you've got the Lovers and you've got a decision. This card here means when you're bound to something, you're tied to something, and it's a mental tie. You're not actually physically tied to it, but you feel that you are, because the feelings and your thoughts are so strong. So this situation that you've got is making you really happy, but you feel totally tied to it, and you've got a decision to make. And this decision, because this card tends to go a little bit with this one here, it might not be an easy decision, because your two here, your Two of Swords here also, there's a decision to be made. This girl's tied, she's not tied. Well, she's tied around her head. She's blindfolded, so she's not sure what decision to make. And you might also be slightly blinded by the fact that you feel as if you don't have a decision to make, because your feelings are so strong. There's also here talks of actually removing yourself from the situation, probably to do the six weeks period where you can't actually do anything, where you feel as if you need to remove yourself to rest and think about whatever's going on. It's thoughts. The swords are like thoughts, and it's when you're removed from a situation where you need to basically pull yourself out to think, oh my God, we've got mini beasts. And then this card here talks of either feeling sort of some sort of connection with somebody from the past. It's emotions, it's happiness, and it's a feeling of familiarity and love. It's a gentle card. So is that meaning anything to you? Because to me, I can't quite get this one at the moment. I'll sum it up at the end, but I'll keep going. I'm going to put those to the side now, and then I will sum it up. Decisions, huge amount of decisions. You're not going to get away from that for 6 weeks, and it's something to do with probably children or there's small movements here. Let me carry on, and then we will sum up. What you need to release. So over these 6 weeks or so, you need to take charge of yourself and know that whatever you need to do is already inside of you, and you have the skills to do this. And what you have to do is you need to make some sort of emotional offer and not wait possibly for the other person to do it, to use your own initiative. You know, you probably have been in a situation before, you know how to act. You probably done this before. You're slightly worried about upsetting people, emotionally upsetting people, but that might be something that you might have to go through, or you might feel emotionally sort of at a bit of a loss yourself, as if you've lost something, but you won't totally lose something. There will still be something left. You feel like you will have to give up some sort of emotional comfort to get where you want to get. Right, I'm going to sum this one up. This pile does not make sense to me. I'm going to read it to you from the top to see if it makes more sense to you. Your situation or your person, which I'm tending to think is more you, has a decision to make, something that they need to be fair, something that they need to realise they have probably been in before. It's like a karmic decision. Anything that you have done in the past has led up. You've got this card here which sort of says that has led up to the situation that you are in the moment. You might not find this easy to do, because this card here speaks of finding it quite difficult. It might be something that there might be a difficult process to go through to get where you want to go. There's no Tower card there. It's you probably inside yourself that will be paying the price of having to do this thing. These two cards here, to me, which is your situation, is something happy. It's something to do with children. It's something to do with something that makes you feel good, and that you have put the effort in to get where you are now. It's like this here is like a practical plodding forwards, something like study, something like money you've put into some situation which is beginning to flourish. Right, then we get into what do you want? What do you want is you want to make a decision. This decision, what is that? Somebody's knocking the door, I think. This decision, it could be possibly to do with a relationship, but it's definitely a decision because you have got so many humongous decision cards here. You've got the Lovers, which is two people. You've got this. You've got two. Somebody at the door. Somebody at the door. And you've got the twos here, which, as I've said before, decisions with a justice. They're basically, you have got some huge decisions and you are tied to something, and you're needing this time to sort out in your head what is important to you, because you feel you are really tied to something. And I'm sort of getting this, the thing that you're tied to is probably the thing you need least of all. So the strongest pull of where you think your responsibilities lie is probably the thing you don't need. If you're finding it hard to make this decision, look at the one that makes you feel like this. Go have time to yourself for this next 6 weeks. It could be to do with children. It could be to do with a relationship regarding children. Because you've got the Lovers, and these two cards are children here. And you have been through this situation before. You need to look back, because this is karma. This is looking back at your situations and things that you've done before. This is using your skills that you know that you have. Now go back and look at your life and something similar that has happened, how you acted. Because if it's retrograde, if Venus is retrograde, it's something that's coming up in your life that you have dealt with before and it feels familiar. This is what I think anyway, but I make things up. And just try and use that to know what to do. I'm not going to say decision again, to move forward. What you're going to do is you need to do it with your heart. You need to make an emotional offer. You need to come forward slowly and do what, once you've decided what you're going to do, but do it with an open heart. You are going to lose something in the process, and this is not a tower card. This is something you have tied yourself to, and you need to move on from it. And it's not a huge falling apart. It's something that you just need to leave behind. It's something you have outgrown, but you don't know that you've outgrown it because you're still stuck to it. So to sum up, something karmic, something you know what it is, and you have seen the pattern before, and you are going to move forward, and it's going to be good. It's a positive spread. I'm thinking relationships, children here. Right, if this rings true, please let me know, because to me that didn't make much sense. Maybe a bit more towards the end. Sometimes reading just don't come together. Okay. If you liked it, and subscribe if you want some more. Thank you very much for watching.